In this video, we will show you how to assemble the main framework of your fruit cage. Here are the parts you'll need. We're going to assemble the roof structure first, which will give the position of the foundation tubes, eliminating the need for a tape measure and mathematics to get everything square. Start by roughly laying out the 1.93 meter long roof bars to the shape of your fruit cage. In this video, we will be constructing a 2-bay by 3-bay fruit cage. Position the corner clamps, position the center clamps, and position the intermediate clamps, ready for assembly. When we begin assembling the frame, you may need to loosen the grub screws to allow the clamp to pass over the tube. We have supplied the required Allen key to loosen and tighten the grub screws. We are now going to secure the 1.93 meter roof bars to the various fruit cage clamps. Start with the four corners. Insert two 1.93 meter roof bars into the clamp. We need to ensure there is adequate clearance to also allow the vertical post to be secured at a later stage. To achieve this, we suggest using a 50 cm long foundation tube. Once the roof bar has been securely fastened, the foundation tube can be removed. Repeat this process for the remaining three corners. Next, we will fit the intermediate and center clamps to the roof bars. Again, we need to ensure there is adequate clearance to also allow the vertical post to be secured at a later stage. So again, use a foundation tube to achieve this. The fruit cage roof is now complete. We will now install the foundation tubes. Setting the foundations is an essential part of constructing your fruit cage. Taking your time to set up your fruit cage foundations correctly will ultimately result in a more robust fruit cage that performs well and looks good. All of your fruit cage foundations should be in line, evenly spaced, and consistent in height. The foundation tubes are 50 centimeters long, with one plain end and one swaged end. To get started, you will need to position a foundation tube at each clamp location ready for installation. Once your fruit cage is assembled, it must be level. If you have sloping ground, this can be compensated for by having the foundation tubes on the lower areas protruding out the ground more than at the highest point. We suggest the foundations are raised no more than 15 centimeters. We can supply longer foundation tubes if required. Please visit firsttunnels.co.uk/tube. We will demonstrate how to do this in this video. Ensure you use a piece of wood to protect the swaged ends of the foundation tubes. We will use the assembled roof structure as a template to position the foundation tubes. Choose which quadrant of the clamps you are going to use throughout the installation process. Imagine a compass overlaid on the clamp. For our installation, we choose the southeast quadrant. Ensure all future foundation positions use the same quadrant. Knock each foundation in just enough to hold it in place. Do not knock fully into the ground at this stage unless you are confident your site is level. If your site is level, knock each foundation into the ground with the swaged end protruding approximately 5 centimeters above ground level, ensuring it remains vertical. If your site is not level, we will now set the foundations to their required heights to compensate for any slope. Start by knocking in one foundation tube which is at the highest point of your sloping site, with the swaged end protruding approximately 5 centimeters above ground level, ensuring it remains vertical. Tie a string line just above the swage and run across to the opposite side of the lower end of the slope. Use a string line and a spirit level to determine the slope. Knock the foundation in at the lower side of the slope until the start of the swage arrives at the leveled string line. Repeat for all foundations along the string line, ensuring they remain vertical. Now repeat this process for all other foundations in all directions, ensuring that the foundation which has previously been set to the correct height is used as a starting point. If you find the soil base is not suitable for knocking your foundations to the required height, you will be required to excavate a hole. Once the foundation has been positioned, the hole can be backfilled. With all the foundations now installed, the roof structure needs to be removed from the footprint of the fruit cage. We will now position the upright legs. The upright legs measure 2.14 meters. Position a leg onto each foundation. The roof structure will likely need to be partially or fully disassembled into manageable sizes, which will be dependent on the number of helpers, available space, and size of your fruit cage. Now, reassemble the roof structure onto the uprights, tightening the grub screws as you progress. When installing the intermediate clamps onto the uprights, ensure the upright is flush to the top of the clamp. The 25mm black plastic plugs can be inserted into the top of the uprights, which prevent water ingress. You can find more videos to help you build your polytunnel at construct.firsttunnels.co.uk. We also have a construction helpline if you require any further assistance.